So I applied for an online teaching program. That was kind of my plan. It didn't feel like what I was actually meant to do. Also, thought that was my only option. So that's another one of my big focuses, is making sure that these kids today know that just because you have these qualities doesn't mean that you're a teacher. You could also be a business owner, or you could also lead a podcast, opening up the world beyond just these typical jobs that we know and see.
Consider yourself hugged. We are Tami and Michelle, and your weekly hug starts right now.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Can you hear us
good.
okay?
Fabulous.
You match with us very well, I guess is my
Yes,
point.
I have my light going. I worked on it.
Okay, our hugged friends, you are like in for so much of a treat, and I will read her bio in a minute. But Krislyn, Michelle and I both met her at an event. Actually, I think I had met her before. She is like right now you're watching her or listening to her, and I feel like 5 years from now or something, you're going to say, oh my gosh, I saw her. I saw her like when she was just starting on her path, because she is like a mover, shaker, passionate. She's a connector. She's a maven, and she's amazing. So I'm going to read your bio, and then we will just start talking. And we already warned her about sort of how all over the place that we are. So Krislyn Mercer is the owner of, listen to this name, Krislyn's Kiddos and Furry Friends. And it's a 5-star care center business here in Robertson County in Tennessee. And she provides childcare, pet care, tutoring, home health, and retreats since 2018. And I've had the privilege of hearing her story about how this all morphed during the pandemic. So we're going to talk about that. She is an ambassador for the White House Chamber of Commerce, which is where we both live. She's a leader of Young Professionals North Nash, I'm assuming is Nashville, and an ambassador for Stay Positive News. She's deeply rooted in her hometown of White House, Tennessee. She is passionate about community, creativity, and creating meaningful experiences for families and young people. And she's humble. She didn't even put this on her bio. Please welcome this year's White House Woman of the Year, Krislyn Mercer.
Thank you so much, Tami. I appreciate it. I'm so glad to be on with you guys today and hug your audience.
Oh my gosh. And you have no idea how excited we've been. And you're our first guest for this season.
Woo! How exciting.
I know. And we haven't done a lot of guests in the past. It's just, I don't know, it takes more work, right? It takes more work, to bring a guest and get all that coordinated. But to have you as our first one means we'll have this great experience, and then we'll always want to do it.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Tell us a little bit about like Krislyn's, wait, let me say it correctly. Krislyn's Kiddos and Furry Friends. Like you started in 2018. We hit the pandemic, lots of changes. Tell us about what that is.
Yeah, so my story is so interesting. I love being able to have the opportunity to share it. I started off just being your local babysitter when I was 16 years old. So I was in high school, and I actually had just gotten into a car accident at the time, which left me with 2 broken bones in my back. And so I was bedridden and just like, what am I going to do with myself? That was very much where I was at. My goal at the time was to be a teacher. So that was my passion. That was where I was headed. So I knew I needed to work with kids. So at that time, I was just 16, just getting started, figuring out where I was at and what I was going to do, and said, I'll be your babysitter. So I started that. That was great. Did that for probably about a year. And then people said, well, our pets love you so much too. Will you watch our pets too? So then that kind of morphed into Krislyn's Kiddos and Furry Friends.
Did you like dogs at the time? Dogs
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I
assume so. But,
yeah.
Okay. Well,
yes,
wait, who did you like better? Kids?
Definitely kids. Definitely kids. Yeah.
That's probably the right
to be able
answer.
to communicate. Yeah. To be able to talk to them and be on the, on the same brain wave and be like, yes, we can talk about these things together. I like that. Yeah. Sometimes pets can be easier though, I will say. But yeah.
Okay, well then dogs or cats?
That's a hard one.
No, it's not.
But dogs.
Michelle?
I'm a dog person.
I have cats and Tami has dogs. So
I have a dog and a cat.
That's true. That is true now. Yeah. And I love dogs too. I just don't have any right now. My cat is mad that I'm not letting them in this room. So if the banging on the door gets too loud, please let me know. I'll have to lock them somewhere.
Let your cats in.
You don't want
Especially,
my cats in.
I want Buddy.
He will be on the computer. He will sit on the computer.
She has like a 45-pound cat.
Love it.
I'm exaggerating a
Love
little
it.
bit. But
Just a big chunker.
Yes.
he
and
is the sweetest thing.
He's a cuddler. He's a cuddler.
Okay,
Yeah.
I only have one picture of him and it's not very good, but when I was at your house, and I will post that in the show notes. So,
Yay.
but my cat is mean to me, so, you know.
There's
A
been
story.
so many good cats that we've watched. Like we have a little grumpy cat that we watch that has a little grumpy face, or like hairless cats. So, or Maine Coons. Being able to watch like unique cats really
Have you
makes me
had
be
one?
a cat person. Yes,
One of
it's
the-
massive. Yes, looks like a
Okay.
lion.
If you have pictures, send them, because
I will. I'll be
if
glad.
you have never, our watchers and listeners, if you have never seen a Maine Coon, you're going to die because you would have just had no idea.
One of my favorite Maine Coons, they named him Albert after Albert Einstein because he had so much hair. So I'll send you his picture. He's amazing.
Send us a picture of Albert.
Yes,
So
I will.
is this like a location now that people bring their
So we are
kiddos
a
and pets?
Yeah, that is a good question. So we're a boutique style care service. So we're coming to your home to provide services. So that was the Krislyn's Kiddos part, and then the furry friends part all kind of got added in. I'm like, okay, I like this. I enjoy this. It was just me at the time going and providing childcare and pet care, whether that would be overnight or whatever that looked like. And that also turned into travel care, which was exciting. Growing up, I never really traveled anywhere, never like went on a plane or anything like that. And so one of my very first jobs that I got as a nanny, the parents said, well, would you be willing to travel with us? And I'm like, yeah, I can try it. So my first ever flight was to Colorado with my nanny family, which was incredible, but also hilarious at the same time. The kids are like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, this is my first flight. Be easy with me.
Oh, were you scared?
Yes.
Is
and I
is
got
that why they were
sick.
asking?
Yes, there was just like a lot of just fear, and we were starting to land, and I was starting to feel sick and just unsure of everything. Like, oh man, here we go. This is my first time doing this, and I'm landing all the way in Colorado. I've never been this far before. So, yeah,
Well,
it was an experience.
have you flown since then?
Yes.
And?
That gave me the bug, and since then, I'm able to fly on my own. I don't get sick. I'm fine. It's like part
So
of who I
you're
am
good?
now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
They really planted that for me, though, which was exciting. I think that's such an incredible part of my story that they brought the traveling aspect of my life. And so with that, I've been to Barbados, Hawaii, Mexico, all throughout just being a nanny. So it's
How
incredible.
old were you at that time, like when you took your first flight?
16.
Okay.
16 years old. It was a crazy time to be just a fresh teenager, just started driving, just started this new job and all the things and just experiencing it all. But I really think that traveling with these nanny families made me exactly who I am. I think that it gave me so much experience. The kids pushing me and being like, yes, Miss Krislyn, you can go down this zip line with us, or you can do this. And like, encouraging me that this is fun and we're going to do it together, pushing me out of my comfort zone, and then giving me opportunities to learn and grow. So, for example, like when we were in Hawaii, the parents went over to another island to do a hike. And we were in Maui, and Maui actually, that was the time it was catching on fire. So it was very
Oh,
nerve wracking. Here I am. I'm still pretty young. I was a little bit older at this time, but still a teenager and no parents. It's just me and this little 2-year-old trying to figure out what are we going to do if we need to evacuate. Luckily, in that situation, we ended up being safe. We were just barely out of the cusp of it all. So it was a God thing, and I'm grateful for that. But situations
wow.
like that made me who I am. And I'm so grateful that I got to experience experiences like that. So I can be like, yeah, I did that, and I can do this because of that type of deal. So anyways,
That is
childcare. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, and I'm processing what you're saying through the lens of people who are watching and listening, and things like encouraging like young people to look at different ways that they can have adventures or do something
Yes.
different, and you
Yes.
actually got paid for it too.
Yes.
Okay, so pandemic.
Yes. The pandemic was a crazy time because I was a senior in high school at the time. March happens, which is when everything really goes down. And at that time, I was in Barbados. So Barbados is such a small island in the Caribbean that we didn't have COVID yet. It wasn't there. But my parents were here home and they're like, we're out of toilet paper. Everything's shutting down. Like, I think you guys need to get
Forgot
home.
about
And I'm like, yes. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like, everything's fine here. We're having a great time. So our flight ended up getting canceled. And so we had to come home a day early. We're scrounging, figuring out how to try to get home. We get home and I'm like, well, am I going to have a job? Like, how do I babysit and how do I make this happen? And so that really turned into becoming like a frontline worker, really. So there were a lot of medical professionals that I was caring for their families. So it was a scary time. They would come home and I'd be like, okay, change your clothes, wash your hands, like none of us want to get sick. But it was so interesting how a babysitter could also become one of those frontline workers, caring for the actual frontline workers to be able to do their jobs. So that was an interesting experience. And that also moved me into tutoring because the kids were out of school. They didn't have teachers. And so parents were like, well, you want to be a teacher, right? Will you teach our kids? And so that started the tutoring journey.
Were you doing homeschool at this time?
No, I went to Heritage, all 13 years of school, kindergarten through senior year, Heritage High School in White House. And no, it was just spring break. So I was able to go on the vacation. Yeah.
And were you traveling? Did you say you were traveling with the family then?
Yes. Yeah.
Is nannying?
Yeah.
Nannying?
Nanny.
Is that
Yes.
a verb? Okay. And then I wonder, is there a name for our seniors in college or high school that, bless you, that were COVID, the COVID
That's
year?
a good question. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I do say that, like, yes, it was a hard time to graduate during COVID, but also for some reason, I feel like that we were some of the most supported people during that time. Like, I feel like that so many people were thinking about the seniors and were just like, oh, the seniors. Like, I felt an immense amount of support, whether people were driving by doing like a parade or putting signs in the yard or celebrating online on social media. I really felt like we had so much support that it's something that I look back at and I'm grateful that I graduated during COVID instead of graduating in 2021 or 2022 when I had to wear masks at school. Like, I didn't have to do any of that. I just barely missed the cusp of it all. And I really felt supported throughout it all. So it did affect college for sure. But as far as high school goes, I think that it was a good experience, honestly. I wouldn't have traded it.
And see, that's why you are an ambassador for Stay Positive News. And I want to come back. I definitely want you to keep going and talk about the tutoring. So your graduation I'm just always curious. So did people do a parade? Is that what you did?
So we were able to finally have a graduation, but it was a couple months later. It was actually on Father's Day and it was supposed to be outside, but then it rained that day. So we had to move it inside. Everyone was masked and social distanced, and we can only have 4 people per person. So only my direct immediate family was able to be there and no one else. But that also started the year of live streaming. So now they live stream almost every graduation, which I think is also incredible. They never did that before. Now you can go back and check it out. So again, I wouldn't have traded it. I think it really was exactly how it was meant to be.
I get what you're saying. Okay, so the tutoring, so I cut you off, the tutoring.
No worries. Yeah. So we start the tutoring, and that was super amazing for me to finally feel what I've been wanting to feel for so long, that teacher feeling, that light bulb, to see that kids are learning. But it's also such a push and pull profession because the goal is to get them to a point where they don't need you anymore, ultimately. So it's hard. It's like, okay, yes, I worked with these so long, know these things is great.
Krislyn's Mercer recording has stopped. Are you back, Krislyn?
I had it on sleep mode, not do not disturb, and my dad just FaceTimed me. Okay, trying to take a deep breath and not be frustrated at him that this was on our schedule today and he knew this was happening.
Well, that's funny. I'm keeping part of that in.
He probably already knows. He probably just had the thought in his head, oh no, Krislyn's on that. She's going to be irritated with me when she gets off. Yeah, it's funny. It's all right.
It's just the nature. It's just like if your cat is in here, or I was doing a webinar one day and my cat literally started climbing up my leg while I'm standing there. Yeah. So
tutoring. Yes. So
and the whole light bulb moments, and you loved it. And
I did love that. I loved being able to see that from them. And I loved also being able to support them through everything. So after, they would go through their things at school, whether that's just like some teasing or was the biggest thing because they're on the lower level of things. So they don't know as much. They're not as confident answering questions. So that was one thing. supporting them through just the emotional side of things so that they feel safe enough to be able to actually learn. Then from that point, they were able to learn and excel. And once they were able to do that, I had the privilege of going to so many award ceremonies, which was so inspiring that the kids that I was tutoring, they were able to go and win awards, whether that be like most improved or highest grade. And so it was just so incredible to see, but also hard because then at that point, they don't need you, right? So it's been
Uh,
a little bit of a journey to kind of
yes.
balance with that. We're not doing as much tutoring these days as we have been, but I will say one of my very first tutoring kids, she just turned 16 years old and bought her car all by herself with her own money. As soon as she got her license, literally the next day, she messaged me and said, Krislyn, I want to meet with you for coffee. And so we met for coffee. We talked for about an hour and just caught up on life and everything. And it was just so lovely that she wanted to meet with me and to see all of her improvements and just goals that she set for herself and where she's headed. It was just so inspiring, but also kind of surreal at the same time because I have been doing this since 2018. So I'm coming up on, doing this for a while now. So these kids are growing up. They're starting to get
Right.
ready to
Yes.
graduate high school. And this is my first round of kiddos doing that. So I'm like, here we go. This is getting serious now.
This kind of transitions into like I want to make sure I say it right. Like so you have your business, but community is so huge to you. So you have like the Young Nash and the Chamber, and why is that such a passion for you?
Yeah. So I this kind of goes back to the whole COVID thing. So when COVID happened and I got my associate's degree online, did that, my goal still was to be a teacher. So I applied for an online teaching program. That was kind of my plan. I opened up my laptop day one, and as soon as I opened it, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like what I was actually meant to do. It just felt like what I was doing to make my like inner child feel happy. Like that's what I had always told myself I was going to do my whole life. So you better do it type of deal. And I thought that's what was meant for me. And also thought that was my only option. So that's another one of my big focuses is making sure that these kids today know that just because you have these qualities doesn't mean that you're a teacher. You could also be a business owner, or you could also lead a podcast or do this, like opening up the world beyond just these typical jobs that we know and see. So first day, I open my laptop. Nope, it's not for me. And so I walk out to the living room and I'm like, Mom and Dad, is it okay if I don't go to college and I just do my business instead? And they're like, Of course, yes, yes, we're happy for you. You got your business going. That's fine. We want you to be happy. We want you to do it. So that's what I did. And I did that all throughout. And that's how things, started to grow. Well, what really got me community involved was when everyone started coming back from college. So a lot of my friends still had the opportunity to go to college and do that. One of those specifically being Gracie Eden in our community, and then her dad, Donnie Eden. So they both went to University of Tennessee, and she was there for 4 years. When she came back, her dad was like, Gracie, come on, you got to be part of the chamber. You got to be part of this and part of that. So she
Of
calls
course.
me and she's like, Krislyn, I really would love you to come with me on all of these events, to come to a ribbon cutting, be part of this with me. She's like, I really don't want to do it by myself. I feel like that I'm the youngest one in here, and I just really would appreciate some support during this. And I'm like, no, I have been leading my business for 5 years without the chamber. I do not need that. No, no. So then time keeps going on. The chamber
Doesn't sound like you at all.
I know. It was an interesting time. I was like,
Okay.
I don't know. Like I didn't want to invest the money into it. I was nervous about that, my time. And I just really felt like I had gotten to a point where I didn't need it. I was like, oh, I already have my clientele. Why would I be doing this?
And you
So
probably looked at it as like an additional responsibility, an
exactly.
additional,
Yeah.
like, I don't have time for this. Not okay. So go
Yes.
ahead.
So I told her, I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And she was just like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And just kind of frustrated with me. And then another week goes on. She's like, Krislyn, please, really. So finally I ended up going to an event with her and I ended up enjoying it. I liked it. It was cool, but it was uncomfortable. Like walking into that room being like, okay, I'm a new face here to everyone. I'm the youngest one in this room.
Yep.
It is overwhelming. And so then from there, Gracie and I were like, well, we have to okay, the chamber is great. I do love this, but we also have to figure out something else for our group of people. So that's where Youth Professionals of North Nash started. That's our local networking group here in town. So we meet the
So
second.
you started it.
Gracie Eden and I started it with Madeline Woodside. So it was a little group of us who got it going. And We meet the second Tuesday of the month here in town. We just had our 1 year birthday, which was so surreal and exciting. I couldn't believe it. I was like, can you believe we're 1 year old? So we were able to go to Top Golf and celebrate together. But really, I think we have about 40 members now, and it's just been an incredible experience to be able to come together and connect. It's for all young professionals under the age of 35, and then it's exclusive. So we're just one profession, per category so that no one's overlapping. We've done a great job networking and building bonds, but more than anything that I'm proud of is our community impact that we've made. So December of last year, we did a give back project where we gifted almost 150 backpacks to local kids in Robertson and Sumner County as a beyond the backpack idea. So it was just all kinds of goodies they could take home with them over the
Wow.
holidays. And then a couple weeks ago, we just did a lemonade stand for Isaiah 117 House in Robertson County and raised over $2,000. So it has really been incredible to partner with this generation of people and make things happen and know that this is just the beginning for us. That's what's really inspiring. Like, we're just getting started here. We still have a lifetime of projects and connections to make. And so it's really been growing in a great direction. We're fixing to have our next meeting in a couple weeks, and we're excited to just keep expanding. Officially a year old, so only up from here.
A couple things that really struck me about what you said. So my daughter, Lindsay, the one who's doing our social media, she went to school to be a teacher. She went to University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. She's always loved kids. She worked in daycare. She babysat. And so she did her basically in her third and fourth year when you do the practicums and the observations. And she said toward the end, she's like, I don't want to be a classroom teacher. She did the Disney college program twice when she was a senior, and then you can do it one more time even after you graduate. She worked with the kids, and then she worked at a couple of camps near LA. Like, one was called Thousand Pines. She worked on Catalina Island at a kids camp. And she's like, and then she worked for Disney Cruise Line for 3 years and then worked shoreside. So what it looked like what she loved and the skills don't mean you have to box yourself in. And if you know
Yes.
you're not going to be passionate in the classroom, then pursuing something different is probably a good idea.
I think it's so important for what you are doing because it gets the word out there to young people that opportunities can start early. They don't have to wait until they graduate high
Right?
school, graduate college, that there are so many opportunities out there even before that.
So, Krislyn, you're 22,
I'm
23? Y'all. I don't normally shout out a big y'all, but she's 23. And not only, okay, so we have Krislyn's kiddos and furry friends. We have the chamber. We have the young professionals. But you also do retreats.
Yes. Okay.
So,
I'm so excited that we're getting into this. This is like the meat and the potatoes for me right now.
okay, sit back.
Yeah. So I still have one team member. Her name is Milena, and she is incredible. And yesterday actually was her 1 year anniversary. So I'm so grateful for the year at Kristen's Kiddos that she has put in. She is phenomenal. And she's one of those people that just does without being asked and just is able to just get up and go. So I'm so grateful for her and all that she's brought to the community. But I will say that she just recently graduated college. And so she's been on the hunt for a job that is within her field. And part of that field is event planning. So everything kind of feels aligned and in tune right now. Back in April, I get a call from my former geometry teacher, Tracy Dever. She's like, "Hey, is this Krislyn?" And I'm like, "Yes, who is this?" She's like, "Tracy."
Is that what you say?
I was like, like, what's going on? Who's
It
calling
is
me?
who you are. What do you want? No, I'm just
Not
kidding.
quite.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But that's so funny because it was such an interesting phone call. Like, I remember it clear as day when she called. I was like, "What in the world is going on here? I haven't heard from her in 5 years." Really, it had been that long. So she said, "I opened up a retreat space in Springfield in Robertson County, and I would love for you just to come check it out." I'm like, "Okay, that's great. I would be happy to come check it out." That's a lot of what I've been doing with the chamber recently. So I'm a member of the chamber, obviously, for Krislyn's Kiddos and Furry Friends, but also an ambassador because I just love it so much and know all the meaning that it's brought to my life. So that's kind of been my flow as an ambassador. People asking me to come check out their spaces or meet with them and just be able to network and communicate. So that's kind of what I was expecting. And we got there and she toured me around the whole space. It's so stunning there. It's on 14 acres. It can sleep 16 people right now. They're doing some renovations to make it big enough for 20 people and a whole kitchen. So it's an incredible space. And as we walked around, I saw all of her hard work that she put into it and was just inspired because, again, it really goes back to that idea of like, I only ever saw her as a teacher. So for me to see her in this aspect of things, I was like, oh my goodness, like this is just insane to me. Like you were supposed to be my geometry teacher.
Was she still teaching and
No,
doing this
she's
on the
not.
side?
No,
Okay.
but she was. I had no idea during my time when I was her student. She was doing scrapbooking stuff on the side, and that's what got her into retreats. But I had no
Wow.
idea. I was like, that is so interesting to me. Like I had no idea what your hobbies were, or what you did, or anything. I just knew you taught me math, and you had a family, and your son went to my school. That's pretty much what I knew, and that was it.
That sounds
So
about right,
I
right?
know.
You
Yeah.
mean like you're a person out, so you
Right.
have other interests?
I
What?
know. I know. And so that's really how I felt when I walked in. I was just like, the whole time my mouth was just wide open, like, oh my goodness, like this is who you are. It was so exciting to see her true authenticity of who she is, outside of the classroom. So after that, we sat down and she says, okay, Krislyn, what are you going to do here? I'm like, I'm not going to do anything here. I'm a babysitter. I go to people's houses to provide childcare. She's like, no, I think you have a good market of people here and you could really make something happen. So I'm like, okay, we'll see. And I left her hanging for about a week. I'm like, I don't know about this. And then I partnered with Milena. She has the event planning expertise going on. And so I'm like, let's just try it. Let's try it one time before I kick it. So we did try it. We did ages 8 through 12. And so it's like a tween girls retreat. It was a full day thing from 9 a.m. to 4 there at Robco Retreat. She gave us a great deal to be able to try it out for our first time, which made it accessible for us to do it. All Seasons Grill in White House donated lunch for all of us, and we had so many sponsors donate goodie bag items, and it was just incredible. I sat
Wow.
in my room just many nights, just like crying with just gratitude, being so overwhelmed that there was such a support in this community. And that really goes back to the chamber too. Like at that point, really realizing the value of the chamber and the value of the community and knowing that, yeah, this is worth my while. This is important for me to be a part of. And I was missing out not being part of it for all these years beforehand. So yeah, it was incredible. We did it and it was an amazing time. And that it was on a Wednesday. And that day, whenever it all got done, we have our local White House Farmers Market. So I went to the White House Farmers Market after, and I was standing right at the pavilion. And I just was kind of looking around, and there was one girl from the retreat at the very far end. And so I looked, I was like, oh, hey, and I was excited. And then I look over, and there's another girl running to her who was from the retreat. So both of the girls did not know each other until they met at the retreat that day. By that evening at the
Aw.
farmer's market, they just ran into each other's arms and hugged right there in front of me. I'm like, oh, it's so happy to see you. Everything's so good. Oh, love it. We had an amazing day. Like, it was just all the words coming out at once. And right then, right there, that's when I knew how important and how special it was. How that retreat wasn't just a fun day for us to hang out and have a good time, but it really made a meaningful impact. It made connections, it built confidence. And so I was like, okay, I can keep doing this. I'll keep this going. So yeah,
Definitely a God orchestrated moment for you to be able to
Absolutely.
see that.
yes, it was like, look, this is meant to be. Yeah.
Michelle, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Probably. We often think the same thing. What are you thinking?
I'm not thinking chocolate. I'm not thinking coffee. I'm thinking, well, Michelle and I have talked about doing some women's retreats and, anyway,
Yes.
just,
We
and
have
we keep not doing it. We just
now
get
you,
busy.
now you got the
So,
team.
I know
You
we're
got the team in the
inspired.
place.
I'm inspired. Are you inspired?
I am. I am. What an amazing, amazing career you've had at 23.
Yeah, it is cool.
I know. And so, and I'm thinking, okay, so you have all these things going on. How in the world do you have a life? Like, how do you make it all fit in? Because
Yeah.
that's a lot.
It is a lot.
That's a lot.
And it's very difficult. And I think that it's so important to talk about because one of my biggest things to really share is that I am human. I am figuring it all out.
Are you sure?
I do get the anxiety that everybody else gets. Like, I want everyone to know that. I don't want it to just be like, oh, yeah, she's making it happen and everything's great. Like, a couple of weeks ago, I was able to be on a radio show with U-Turn Laverne. I was so excited. It was amazing. Yay! love it. Yes.
Yeah.
So I went on and she was like, well, I'm sure you've always just been so confident in public speaking and you're a natural. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, I am just as human as the rest of us. We get those anxious feelings and we just keep on going. So yeah, I want everyone to know that I definitely am human and I'm definitely just figuring it all out. As far as spending time for myself, we recently just moved to a cabin out in Greenbrier. So we have a huge plot of land now with a pond and different things like that. And so I will say it has been a push and pull. So I'm so White House oriented. It's like I literally runs through my veins. I feel like my mom and I had a conversation recently. If you could be any city in the world, what city would you be? I was like, White House. That's my city. I love White House. So it was hard for me
Now,
when we moved
this
in
I didn't
December.
know about you. I mean, I knew you were like extremely involved, but I didn't know that like if you could be okay. Anyway.
I love White House. Yeah. Like, and I've traveled all over the world. I've had an opportunity to be in South America and, wherever, but seriously, it's something about being able to grow up in the same place my entire life and know all the nooks and crannies and the details of it. It's just so ingrained into who I am. Like, it feels like it's part of my DNA almost. So, yeah, I'm so appreciative for my little town. I love it so
That's
much.
so sweet.
Yes,
That's
yes.
so sweet. But you to create
So for
so
me,
you moved.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So since we moved, that has been helpful. So in December, whenever we moved, it was hard. It was this anxiety. We're leaving the space that I've always known. This is stressful. But now that I've had time to kind of settle here and get acclimated to all the things, it really has been like my safe haven. So we have plenty of room to walk around. I love to kayak. So we have a pond in the back that I'm able to just drop my kayak into and do a couple laps around if I need to. Yes.
Okay. Can we have pictures of that for
I
the
will
show
send you
notes?
Alver and the pond. Got it. There's one of me kayaking across, so I'll send that on there too.
That's the one we want.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Nature time has really always been very special to me. That's one of my biggest memories growing up as a kid too. I had this like purple play dress that I loved and I'd walk around the backyard just playing all day. And so I feel like it brings me back to that, makes me feel centered and whole. And so that's really how I just tap into myself and my peace so that I can balance all of the different things that I'm doing. And, one of the biggest struggles, because people are asking me, like, how do you keep your cup full? But for me, like, going to the chamber events or being able to come on and talk to you guys, like, this does fill my cup up. This does make me excited to be able to share and be part of it. So luckily for me, that is, a helpful side of things. But I would also say that, I don't know, I just try to take my own time, take my peace, and schedule it in when I can, for sure.
Good.
So whether that's at night, being like, all right, I have an hour where it's just me, we're going to take a shower, we're going to do a meditation or acupuncture or whatever, just finding that balance time and not forgetting the things I love, like pickleball or all the different things. So
Still got to play that.
yes.
But it's interesting though, because like the chamber was originally a source of for you, but once you figured out, and then teaching was originally, I still want to do this, and then maybe I want to do something different. So it really is listening
It is.
to yourself, dipping your toe in, paying attention to what works for you. And we, our listeners, women, teachers. So based on you're 23. And not only have you done a lot, you seem to have a lot of self-awareness and self-reflection and wisdom. So what would you say to our precious, wonderful watchers and listeners to make them feel like they've just been hugged?
Yes.
What's your ultimate piece of advice?
I would first tell them to take a big, deep breath in.
Okay.
And then let it out.
Done.
And remember that they are worthy, they are loved, and that life is not meant to be completely planned out moment by moment, and to really tap into what you're feeling and be flexible and open to whatever the world has to offer you, because I'm sure whatever you're meant to have is going to come to you for sure.
So beautiful.
Beautiful.
I am so excited you've been on. Michelle, do you have anything else to?
Thank you so much for coming on. Your story is amazing. You're very inspiring. I can't wait to hear more about everything you're doing, your retreats in the future. Definitely send us information about the next one. We will definitely put that word out.
Yay.
Maybe we could plan one together.
We need one together. I have had so many people asking for adult women retreats, but I will be honest with you, I still have a little bit of that anxiety, that imposter syndrome, if you will, because I'm 20. Since I'm in my 20s, I'm like, am I even old enough to plan a women's retreat? You know, like I want it to really be encompassing and be able to have everything that everyone needs. And I know that I don't know all of that as just a 20-year-old. So to be able to collaborate and open that space up for women of all ages would be really incredible.
Well, you are worthy, you are
Yes.
smart, you are wise, you are capable, all the things. Well, I don't know if you know this, if you've watched or listened to our shows, but we always close. Like I will start saying, until next time, and then together we will all say, consider yourself hugged. It's always awkward. We don't care.
Always off, but that's
Always
okay too.
off.
Yeah.
Always off. Okay, so here we go. Until next time,
Consider
yourself hugged.
See,
Can we
there
do
you
it one
go.
more?
We can, but
Yeah,
we're going to
okay.
play both of them.
Okay.
All right.
I'm happy
Until
to.
next time,
Consider
yourself
hugged.
hugged. That's beautiful either way.